The following program is sponsored by the Today's Home Remodeler television network.
Welcome to Today's Home Remodeler. I'm Stuart Keith, and on today's show, well, we're learning more about the manufacturing process for America's premier entry doors. We'll begin with Dusty Dvorak from Taylor Entrance Systems out at their 200,000 square foot manufacturing facility in West Branch, Michigan. Here we'll see how fiberglass and steel doors are manufactured using top quality components, state-of-the-art machinery, and hands-on craftsmanship. And along the way, we'll also learn about some beautiful new finishes that provide the realistic look of natural wood without all the maintenance. So we have a lot to cover today, and we'll get started right after these messages. A front entry door is the gateway to a home. It provides an opportunity to make a statement and can dramatically enhance a home's appearance. So on today's show, we'll catch up with Dusty Dvorak at the Taylor Entrance Systems manufacturing facility in West Branch, Michigan. Here we'll see how these quality entry doors are built and learn what sets them apart from others on the market. So let's get started and see some American craftsmanship in action. Well, Dusty, a beautiful manufacturing facility. Looks like a lot of activity going on here today.
Yeah, you know, it's June. We're getting into our busy season. You're here in West Branch, Michigan, town of about 2,500 people, where we've been making steel doors since 1967. Pretty excited to show you some things today. We're going to start off with our fiberglass door. Truly unique from the standpoint that all American-made components, right? So when we talk about steel or fiberglass doors, all the components used are American-made, and in today's day and age, I think that's pretty important to keep Americans working, right?
Pretty unique, too, in the industry.
It is unique in the industry. You're finding, especially in the steel realm, most of your steel is coming from Korea or China, and we're using all American-made steel, which, again, I can't say how important I feel about the use of American-made components in our products.
So the components are American-made, obviously the workforce here, second to none, proud Americans. I'm dying to learn more about the manufacturing process because in previous shows, we've seen the finishing process, but we've never gotten into the actual manufacturing of the doors themselves.
You know, some of the doors are still laid up by hand, especially when we're talking about fiberglass, but you're going to see a machine that does our steel edge doors pretty phenomenal. We can do about 1,000 doors in an 8-hour shift on there. So I'm excited to show you all the different things we do and how we construct our doors.
Well, let's get right into it. Can we start with the fiberglass doors?
Let's do it. Stuart, let's start by talking about the components that make up our timber grain fiberglass door. And most important in the construction of that fiberglass door are your vertical rails. This is an LSL engineered wood material, and then we cap that with an Alaskan yellow cypress. And if you know anything about Alaskan yellow cypress, rot resistant, insect resistant, so it's not going to decay over time.
Now, why do you use engineered wood?
You know, fiberglass is always in a state of cure, always expanding and contracting. With this LSL, we're guaranteed to keep a straight door, and then we put a rot-resistant Alaskan yellow cypress cap on there to prevent moisture and decay over the years.
So again, you're concerned about movement with fiberglass. They're a beautiful end product, and if you didn't use these materials, you'd run the risk of them warping?
You've got the risk of thermal bowing and warping, and we want to avoid that at all costs. A little bit more expensive way to construct the door, but I'll tell you what, that end door ends up being about 70 pounds, so it's a beefy fiberglass door.
Now, are there other doors on the market not manufactured by you that don't use these components?
A lot of them will use a finger-jointed shop pine that's primed, and it's susceptible not only to rot, but to movement. And that's, again, when you're talking about fiberglass, the key in getting that door to perform long-term is keeping it straight. In addition to that, we use a composite top and bottom rail. So this is a composite man-made product. Again, it's not going to rot. It's going to stay intact for the life of the door. So Stuart, we talked about the components. Let's watch the assembly of the components and how we actually put the door together. Starts with a hot melt glue, and what this machine does here, it rolls the hot melt onto both sides of the components. And then the components are hand laid up onto our fiberglass skins. And we have the opportunity on these skins to make different size doors out of the same skins. You can see the ridge lines and the break points there. So we can actually make a 2.8 door, 3.0 door out of the same skin. So what the fellows are doing is they're running it through the machine, they're laying the components on, there's a good heavy dose of glue on both sides. And again, this glue takes 24 hours to cure. So we won't be able to foam these doors for a full day. And then once we do, again, obviously the glue is cured out. We're not going to have any issue with that.
You know what I like to see is the craftsmanship that's involved. There's so many products nowadays that are machine made. They just load it up, hit a button, and out pops a door or a window or whatever it is. These guys take pride in what they're doing, and to me, it's almost equivalent to making furniture.
Well, the beauty of hand laying up a door like this, and like you say, a piece of furniture, they can QC it or quality inspect it as they're assembling it. So again, there's no substitute for the human eye, right? So they're looking at every single door as they manufacture it. And again, that's how we end up with the beautiful results we do on these fiberglass doors.
Okay, so hot glue is applied, they lay it up, then where does it go?
The next step in the process is going to be the pinch roller. Now that we have it glued up, we want to run it through a set of pinch rollers and make sure that skin is adhered tightly to the vertical and the horizontal rails.
And again, once it's through there, it takes 24 hours before you can inject it with foam?
It takes 24 hours before we can inject it with foam, but what we will do is trim it vertically for height. We'll get the height set, and then we'll take it over and we'll foam the door, and once it's foamed, and only after it's foamed, will we edge trim the door on our double end tenon.
Now obviously once they've been foamed, they still need to be finished. Where does that take place?
We have countless pre-hangers across the United States that finish this product, so it is available throughout the United States. Not only the United States, but we do ship doors to the Caribbean, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, so we're an international company.
Well, I think that speaks volumes to the quality that goes into this end product.
Yeah, you got to make sure when you're shipping something overseas that it's going to hold up and it's going to last, because it gets a little expensive to make a service call.
Stay tuned. We'll continue our tour of Taylor Entrance Systems next. In our last segment, we saw how fiberglass doors are constructed at the Taylor Entrance Systems manufacturing facility in West Branch, Michigan. Now, before we continue with our factory tour, let's first learn more about their new True Grain finish as we once again catch up with Dusty Dvorak.
Stuart, if it's a wood grain looking door you're after, this is a great product to choose. It's called the True Grain. It's brand new. What we actually have here is a polyolefin skin laminated to steel. This is a 22 gauge steel, but again, replicates wood. It's available in 4 different finishes. You've got walnut, cherry, mahogany, and oak, as you see here, but a great product to go with if you're just looking for a wood look door that you can put in and you don't have to finish.
You know, looking at it, I would have been hard pressed to know that isn't authentic wood. I mean, it is a perfect match. Now, how durable is it?
It's a very durable finish, especially when compared to a painted or a hand-stained finish. Again, you've got a polyolefin, which is similar to a nylon coating on there. So,
and it's actually bonded to the surface?
It's bonded to the surface of the steel. And again, this is still a hot-dip galvanized steel door.
Okay. Now, there's a 10-year warranty you mentioned that comes with it, but it's going to last a lot longer than 10 years.
It's going to last a lot longer than 10 years. That 10 years really is part of the no-fade warranty. So again, it'll hold its color for a minimum of 10 years, but the door will last indefinitely.
So if you're looking for a wood grain look with maintenance freedom, you're never going to have to worry about this. This is something you should consider.
Right, exactly. And then the other product I wanted to talk about that we're excited about, this is that timber grain fiberglass product we talked about. Now this has to be stained, but you can see how closely this will replicate a knotty alder door.
That is beautiful. I love the architectural correctness with the grain going in the different directions, and even the knot looks authentic.
Right. So again, we all like the look of a wood door, but we don't want the maintenance of a wood door, right? So this gives you a great option for that.
How many different species does it come in?
Well, this is knotty alder. We also have cherry available. You can get it in mahogany, you can get it in fir, and you can get it in an oak look. So again, all constructed in the same manner with the heavy LVL 4-inch vertical rail and the composite top and bottom. And an optional feature on it is adjustable hinge we talked about. You know, from the stainable steel, the smooth steel, we talked about adjustable hinges. You also have that available here on your fiberglass door as well.
And let me tell you, I've talked to numerous contractors that have used this, and once they have, they never want to go back because it helps with installation in the field. And then even throughout the years of the house might move, but the door can be adjusted to any movement that occurs.
The door can always be adjusted, and if it does settle or move a little bit, all you have to do is adjust that door slab up and down or in and out to compensate for that movement.
So regardless of what you're looking at here, to me, it's all about maintenance freedom, long-lasting, durable, well-constructed products. They should talk to their building professional and find out more.
Exactly. Talk to your local lumberyard, your building professional, and they can get you pointed in the right direction.
Now let's head back out to the factory floor to learn more about Taylor's wood edge steel doors and what makes them unique to the industry.
Stuart, another product within the Taylor family I want to talk about just briefly is our wood edge steel door. A wood edge steel door isn't all that unique, but we do make a unique product within this offering, and that's a 4 foot by 6 foot 8 22 gauge wood edge steel door. And you know, typically that's only found commercially, but we have one that's available residentially that is a 22 gauge, and it is a little bit more durable than your average steel door.
Okay, so where would a homeowner even use a 4 foot wide door?
4 foot wide door is typically used out the back of the garage or your utility shed. Think about the fact that guys like you and I have a few toys. Sure. You want to be able to go in and out the back of the garage, or you want to be able to go in and out of the shed, and you don't want a confined opening, so either you have to do a double door, or you can use a 4 foot by 6 foot 8 door and drive in and out of that without being enclosed. So.
And with a four-wheeler, you have plenty of room, a riding lawnmower, and 4 foot wide, it makes it much easier, and 22 gauge, much more durable.
Much more durable, and you remember hanging a single door is much easier than hanging a double door when you got two sets of margins you got to follow. And then if you're trying to take something out, you got to open one, then you got to flip the latches on the other to open that up to have your full opening, whereas with a 4 footer, just swing it open in and out, and you're done. And
again, like all your other products that we've been looking at, all American-made components here?
All American-made components, and you know, the thing I love about West Branch, Michigan is the quality of the employee we have here. Like I said, it's a town of 2,500 people, but we have a better quality of employee here, in my opinion, than anywhere else in the United States. And the quality of the product speaks for itself. Since 1967, the Taylor Steel Door is a recognized leader as far as quality is concerned in the United States.
Stick around. We'll see how steel doors are manufactured next. Earlier in today's show, we learned how fiberglass entry doors are manufactured and saw a new finish from Taylor Entrance Systems called True Grain that provides the realistic look of wood without all the maintenance. Now let's continue with Dusty Dvorak, who explains how the Taylor steel doors are manufactured using top quality components, state-of-the-art machinery, and hands-on craftsmanship.
Stuart, what we're looking at now is what I like to call the Borlog Beast. This is a machine that's capable of making 1,000 doors on an 8-hour shift. Wow. And what you see here is it's picking up an A and a B sheet of the steel edge doors, and by the time it comes out the end, it'll be assembled into one door slab. And what we typically are running is either 24 or 22 gauge steel on here. But we have the capability of running 1,000 doors in an 8-hour shift, but we also have the capability of taking and making 5 of a kind or a size. And the beauty of that is, you know, we have all these dies behind you that are made for special lock prep. So if you've got a lock prep that's kind of hinky that you don't typically see, chances are we have a die here to perform that punch on that lock. And when you get it on site, you want to be able just to put that lock on. You don't want to have a crew there that, you know, you got a door that requires special boring, and you know the labor involved when you're field prepping a door. You want to avoid that. So we are still a custom shop, as automated as this line is.
And that's what really impresses me about your company. You're not concerned about volume as much as you are about pleasing the end user with a quality product.
Right, like I said, we don't have to be everything to everybody. I want to make those products that are unique, and there's an area of need for it in the field, and that's really who we want to be. We want to be that niche player that, hey, if you can dream it, we can manufacture it, and that's really who we are. Stuart, after we die punch the doors, they next move into the side former. And the side former is where we take that A and B sheet and we fold and bend them so that when we get to the end, we can assemble the two sheets together.
You know, in addition to the workforce that you have here, it seems like your company has invested a considerable amount into the machinery itself. You know,
we have, and this particular machine was built in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and it's a great productivity tool, and you know, it gives us consistent quality. That's what I love about it.
And I know we've talked in the past, that consistent quality is really what helps set you apart. Sure, it takes the hands-on craftsmanship, but also machines with extremely tight tolerances to produce the best end product.
Exactly. And you know, this machine, like we were talking about, it isn't made just to do high volume. We can do the one-offs and two-offs on it, so we still are a custom shop. We still can make a custom door, but we can also pound out the volume when we need to. Stuart, this is the point where we're going to determine whether this is a stationary hinge or it's an adjustable hinge. You can see this has a stationary hinge setup on it, where we use this 20 gauge reinforcement plate so that when you put your screw in, you got 20 gauge reinforcement of steel inside there that machine screw goes through. Or if this happened to be the adjustable hinge, this is the adjustable hinge plate that we use within that door that's an 18 gauge. The thing about the adjustable hinge, as you well know and like, you know, you can always move that door within the frame with the adjustable hinge.
And I've talked to several installers out in the field, out in the real world, and they absolutely love it. It saves a lot of man hours out on site.
It saves a lot of man hours, and again, the house settles. You can always take that door slab and cant it, get it tight to fit the weather seals. But these happen to be 8-foot doors, commercial prep application, a little bit different application than a residential. So the doors are now exiting the hinge reinforcement area. You can see here we're manually putting those hinge reinforcements in because it's a commercial 8-foot door. There's 4 hinge locations, so we put those in by hand. Typically they're put in right in our process on the machine. So as they come out, they're putting in a lock block and a hinge reinforcement. The lock block's a composite, it's not a wood, right? We like composite because it doesn't take on moisture and swell. It stays a consistent thickness. So here we have 5.5 inches center to center. So when you put your lock set in, it'll compress, but it won't over compress because we have this rigidity inside the door. The thing I like about composite rather than wood, wood takes on moisture and can swell, and it can telegraph through the door. When you paint it a dark color, you can see that. With composite, you don't have to worry about that. So what they're doing is installing the lock block, installing the reinforcements, putting the A and the B sheet together, and then we're taking it right into our foam press.
And again, the beauty of using the higher end components, it makes for a better, more durable, longer lasting end result.
Yeah, you know, you can't take all the cheapest components, put them together and make the best door. You got to buy the quality components, even our steel. It's a hot dip galvanized steel, so we know that we can put a lifetime warranty on it, and we're going to have a sound product for the life of the building or the home.
I got to imagine galvanization really helps with rust proofing, rust protection. Again, we're talking longevity, durability here.
It's all about rust resistance when you're talking about steel. And the fact that we have a 22 gauge door, it's highly dent resistant as well. So steel doors have come a long way, and especially the ones we manufacture.
Now, from this stage in the process, where does it go to get finished up?
From here, it's going right into our book presses so that we can go ahead and foam these doors and complete the process and end up with our finished door slab. So Stuart, this is one of the final steps in the process. We're shooting the polyurethane foam into the door, and you have a combination of poly and iso. The two get mixed together and they get shot into the door. It's a calibrated timed shot, so that'll determine how much foam is in the door and how dense it is. So those platen presses you see there are actually heated. They're heated to a certain temperature depending on moisture content in the air and all those great things. What he did here for us is he did a bag shot, and what you can see, there's the product as a liquid. You feel how warm it is?
Oh yeah, really warm.
So you got a chemical
and it's
reaction
expanding
there.
right now.
Right, exactly. So you remember, you know, the foam stuff in a can?
Sure.
Very, very similar to that, but this is actually a time shot for an actual 8-foot door, so you see how much foam we end up with and how dense that must compact into that door.
And I gotta believe that this produces a better end result when you're talking about energy efficiency, because look at this, every nook and cranny is getting filled in a bag. I assume that's why you use it in the doors?
Exactly, and you know, there's still companies out there that use an expanded polystyrene, which is a beadboard product, so it's a sheet just laid in that door. Not only is it a insulating component, this is a bonding agent as well and keeps everything tight and together. Stuart, once the foaming is completed, it travels down what we call our offline, and on our offline what we're doing is if it needs a deadbolt bore, or let's say it's a positive neutral fire pressure situation, we actually have to physically pop rivet the skins together, so that'll be done on this line as well. So from here, it's going over to the final QC inspection. So again, looking for any imperfection in that slab before it gets palletized, it gets wrapped, and then put on a truck to ship.
And that's one of the things that impresses me most at this facility is the amount of QC or quality control, and that really begins long before the final stages here as the raw materials come into this facility.
You know, common sense will tell you, you got to QC those incoming components if you want to make a quality product going out the door. So catch it on the front side, you don't have to worry about it on the back side before it ships. So, you know, like I said, I'm extremely proud of what we do here in West Branch, Michigan, and I'd like to thank you and the Crew Cut staff for paying us a visit today.
Well, it's been my pleasure, Dusty, and I'm happy to see that craftsmanship is still alive and well in America. Now here are some key points to help summarize today's show. Entry doors are a vital part of any home, And Taylor Entrance Systems offer durable products for virtually any architectural style. From fiberglass to steel, all of their doors are made right here in America, using top quality components, state-of-the-art machinery, and hands-on craftsmanship. So the next time you're in need of an entry door, consider a door made by the dedicated professionals in West Branch, Michigan. Well, we're all out of time for this week's show. Sure hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next time on Today's Home Remodeler.
The preceding program was sponsored by the Today's Home Remodeler television network.